But before I begin on the topic of conflict resolution, let me assure you that there are behaviors that are absolutely inappropriate and not conducive for any form of resolve. Some of these are not limited to any illegal behavior, sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, or any blatant disrespect of and not limited to gender, race, disability, health, religion, etc. These cause major conflict. We all have our own personal boundaries, and any person that continuously violates those boundaries is being disrespectful and causing conflict, and these are non-negotiables. Be aware of these toxic people in your life. We all have them. They are valid. I am pretty sure that anyone here has been in a work-related conflict resolution training. It's quite common where we are today. This is a room full of professional women and men. So I am sure that you believe that you are all good listeners, that you are a proficient listener. And I'm not trying to veer off topic, but this is a nugget of information. Most people liken themselves to good listeners, kind of like driving cars. You think you're a good driver, but technically you're kind of average. Most people think that being a good listener involves three basic things: not talking while others are speaking, letting others know that you are listening through facial expressions and body language and verbal responses like So okay. So let me ask a rhetorical question. How many of you have found yourselves in the middle of a conversation, deep in conversation, and in your mind, you're already formulating the next response? We do it all the time. So as this person is talking, you're getting those questions together, and you've even blurted out and interrupted them. So what did you just do right there? You null and voided everything. So a high percentage of conflict is due to not being heard. We want to be heard. It's a human need. It's not necessarily in the hierarchy of triangle of needs, but it's there. We want to be heard. We want to be understood. So being a good listener is much more than just being silent while the other person is speaking. On the contrary, that type of conversation revolves and requires interaction. It lets the person know that you're comprehending what's going on. Lets them know that you understand what they're saying. So being a good listener includes interaction. It builds self-esteem in that person, and you should walk away feeling a positive. It's the supported way of being accomplished. Good listening is seen as a cooperative conversation. There is interaction, there's feedback, and the parties do not feel defensive. The moment you feel that you have to put up your defense in a combative type of competitive way, you're done. That type of conversation is not supposed to be competitive. So as listening, to identify errors or reasoning or logic, using silence as a chance to prepare for the next response. It's not going to work in a conflict resolution type of environment. That doesn't say that good listeners do not and cannot challenge and assumptions and or disagree. We do have differences of opinion. We're allowed to do that. That's what being a room full of Skittles is all about. Repeat. It's because they're thoughts and they're worth repeating. Just because someone has a different viewpoint and opinion doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means that it's different than yours. There are few causes of conflict. We've got different areas of conflict. We've got marriage, work, school, home, you name it. The workplace is major, but needs not being met. Miscommunication, lack of information, misrepresentation, different perspectives, destructive patterns, and the inability to regulate emotions. And that can be said with emotional intelligence. If you can't handle those emotions, going back to the needs not being met, you need to be able to articulate what's not being met. So there are 5 basic ways to manage conflict. How many of you have watched people avoid conflict? They walk away from it. Or they just, if I ignore it, it doesn't. Something that you regret. You're going to have to say, let me go. I need to walk away. I've done it many a time. So avoiding the issue or ignoring it never works. The if I do nothing approach only breeds hostility in the long run. Defeating, the winning at all costs. I am going to win no matter what. I'm the one that knows what's going on and you don't. It never works. Compromising, the give a little, take a little approach is only good in minor things. It may not fit for all involved. Large groups. This is a large group. It may not work for such large groups. And that's only if all the parties are in agreement. You know, a husband and wife, they can compromise on things. Maybe. Maybe. So accommodating, this rarely works out for the person who's the offended one. This approach is where someone puts aside their own feelings, needs, and wants for the other person. And truthfully, this person's codependent. So it may seem like a good idea, a good thing at first, yet it is hurtful as the accommodating individual may feel as though they are unable to get what they want from the situation. This eventually can lead to low self-esteem, lack of confidence, lack of trust, and resentment by being manipulated. Collaborating. This is where things come together and the parties involved can work together towards a solution. We in this group, we collaborate. We work together. We figure out new things. So how do you get to the heart of any conflict and work towards a resolve? You must identify the issue. You have to be able to articulate what is bothering you, be it in marriage, work, so forth and so on. You have to clarify it. Don't beat around the bush. You have to be strong enough, and we have to be able to discuss the difficult things. If someone is constantly at you, you have to say, stop, it's not going to work. Be strong enough. Swallow it. Say, this is how it is. Clarify the issue. Understand everyone's needs. It's really hard. Understand the interests of the other party. And that means put your ego aside for the moment to try and understand what the other person is talking about. Step out of you for a moment to step into and it's hard. It's not in our human nature to do that because it's me, it's mine. I need to own this. This is me. But if you take for a moment what that other person is feeling, then you can try to and attempt to get there. Being involved in the part, excuse me. If this doesn't work out, is this going to work? And with that, document the issue, the solution, the agreements, agree on contingencies, and continue to monitor and follow up. It's kind of like couples therapy. It's habitual. There are some basic types of conflicts that will spill out into any part of life or population. And again, here we are, we're human. It's home, marriage, work, school, and club. And it's the basic conflict with self, man versus self, conflict with others, man versus man, or woman versus woman, one person versus society. I have a conflict with hurricane season. Man versus nature. I'm sure, who was it? Stephanie said winter in Buffalo. There we go. That's no. Conflict with supernatural. Man versus fate or religion. You don't want to stay to the family norm of tradition. And all I can think of is Fiddler on the Roof tradition. So, or Catholic, here we go. You're no longer in that. But conflict with technology, that is me. The ever-changing way of doing things and possibly not being able to keep up in the workplace. I am IT challenged. And there's a meme that I'm sure everyone has seen, especially if you're on my Facebook. So it says, people that cannot communicate think that everything is an argument. And it used to be, I need to be able to talk, but no, it's what I say, what the other person comprehends. There's another thing. No, not everybody is going to comprehend what you're going to say. So we think about our daily lives and where they revolve and these intimate settings. This is an intimate setting. You may not think that but these are intimate relationships that we have with each other. So the people you work with, go to school with, family, so forth, and these are all intimate relationships. The people has opinions that differ from ours, and that's okay. That's the best part about being an adult. So 10% of conflict is over a difference of opinion, but 90% is due to tone of voice and the delivery of it. It's not necessarily what you say, it's how you said it. So with communication, there are several things that need to be addressed for effective speaking. You need to choose your words carefully to convey your message Know your audience. And in knowing your audience, you're going to know what needs need to be met, what needs to be addressed. Use the correct tone of voice. Know your audience. I said it. There are some things that are worth repeating. Do not be condescending, dismissive, or aggressive. Oh, that's me. Okay. Yeah, condescending, dismissive, or aggressive. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. That's me. Okay. Respond specifically to the person, to what the person said. Be fact-based. Don't throw your own opinion in it. Make sure that there are no mixed signals that are contrary to the statements that were made. Really focus on what was done. And then there's context. Know who you are speaking with and what is important to them. And that's the issue at hand. What needs to be addressed? Understand the topic you are discussing. If you don't understand the topic, do some research. Figure it out. Find alternatives in that topic. Ensure the location and the time is appropriate for the person and the conversation. This would not be the appropriate time or place to have a one-on-one conversation with someone. And then there's active listening. Be open-minded and non-judgmental. This is really hard for a lot of people because we're like, the situation could have been handled different. Yeah, it could have. So be open-minded and non-judgmental. Avoid thinking of a response until you have listened fully to the issue and the statement at hand. Be patient because people who are getting ready to spill out their guts, kind of stressful. For them to be able to articulate the difficult things, the hard things, they need a lot of patience. So take that time and let them tell you what's going on. You may have to ask questions because you may have to have clarification on it. You may not understand what they're getting ready to deliver. So clarify it with a question or two. Stay focused on that other person. No distractions. And how many times have you gone into a conversation and they're either on their phone, tablet, cell phone, TV, whatever it is, they're not really paying attention to you. They've got 100 things going on. Flip it over, turn it off. Turn off the ringer, whatever it is. Focus on the other person. Do not expect the issue to be resolved straight away. It's going to take some time. For all the areas to get worked out, have a little patience. Someone that is angry cannot start any part of this conflict resolution. Let them walk away. Let them regroup. It is imperative and it's healthy for everyone involved. We come into these intimate relationships with baggage and hurts. We all have them. Some suitcases are bigger than others. Some of us have travel trailers. So it is not the other person's job, responsibility to unpack your baggage. And it's not your job to unpack their baggage. It will spill out. It will cause conflict. It's going to happen. It's part of life. And again, one of the biggest issues in all conflicts is that the other person just really wants to be heard. They need to talk it out. They don't need you to fix it. They need empathy, sympathy, compassion. Sometimes they just need you to stand there and let them vent. It doesn't mean, it goes back to people that do not know how to communicate, think everything is an argument. Sometimes people just have a really shitty day and they need to talk it out, but don't think that it's always at you. So thank you for letting me share. I hope you were able to glean something from this. And I didn't get a card. I did really good. So, thank you.
One moment, Ms. Shannon. We have a gift for you for being one of our featured speakers today. So thank you for presenting this. She requests a new gift next time. Kathy, she requests a new gift next time. This doesn't feel like a drink. Tonight.
She deserves to because she also did Danielle.
She did Danielle and Linda.
For everyone who doesn't know, I was asked at the absolute last minute. And for anybody that's ever put together any type of presentation, 1 hour presentation takes 8 hours of preparation. I threw this together yesterday. So,
Well, it was very well said and very well spoken, Shannon. So thank you.